What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Man, is it nice to be talking NHL again with you guys. Here's my NHL report, breakdown, and picks for Thursday, March 18th. Over the last few days, I've been doing a lot of thinking, going over my numbers. I'm sitting 63 wins, 75 losses, sitting at 45.7%, down 3.66 units, ROI minus 2.65%. With an average line of plus 129. With that average line of plus 129, if I hit 47%, I'll be in the profit. But I was looking hard at what had gone wrong this year, and it was simple. It was taking underdogs on the minus one line when I would have cashed with the plus 135s and 140s and 160s and 180s, but instead I went for plus 350s and 380s and pushed. And I've got to stop being so stubborn. Yeah, I want big scores. But the true way of getting big scores is to have a higher unit size. And you can't get higher unit sizes unless you win more. That's the only way to start betting more, is by winning more. So I've let that go. A plus line is good enough for me. But I'm going to stay true to that. So a minus 110 line is not good enough for me. If it's a minus line of any kind, I'll turn it into a minus one. If it's plus, I'll take a breath and say that's good enough for me. So I'm changing in the second half of the year. Let's get to work right now. I picked out 5 games that I'm attacking, and I'm so excited to be back talking NHL. And I know it's March Madness, but let's get paid on the ice. Excitement on ice. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Penguins at New Jersey Devils. And, man, I cannot wait to talk about this game. Let me just make sure I've got all the proper market movements up here so we can talk about exactly what's happening in the marketplace. Here we go. NHL. With this Pens game, Pens at Devils, it pops off at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins open up as minus 190 favorites. That there's a 20-cent move immediately at Bet365. That comes out. They're now minus 170. Money comes in on the Devils. And the news we're getting on the injury front is the reason. We know that Teddy Bluger, their third-line centerman, is extended period. It looks like he's be out for like a month, or we don't know. But an extended period with an upper body injury. And now Geno Malkin is dealing with a lower body injury. So we'll get to that. The total is sitting here at 5.5, and it's juiced to the over. It's minus 120 to the over, plus 100 to the under, and there's been no market movement there. We're at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The Penguins are 18-10-1, 6-7-1 on the road. The Devils 9-13-4, 3-10-2 at home. Terrible home record. I'm on the under 5.5 here at plus 100, and I'm on the team total under 3 for the Penguins at plus 128. That's an under 2.5 at plus 200, and an under 3.5 at minus 135. I expect Tristan Jarry to be in net. He's 12-7-1, 2.89 goals against average, 906 save percentage. He's been much better of late. And I expect Mackenzie Blackwood to be between the pipes for the Devils. 6-8-1, 3.05 goals against average, 903 save percentage, 0 shutouts. The Pens power play has been disappointing this year. It's disappointed me for the last couple of years, to be honest with you. Just because Crosby and Malkin are on it, and you have Letang on the point, I expect them to have a 30% cash rate. They're hitting at 17.9%. Their penalty killing has been bad, and that surprises me, but their defense is weak, 75% penalty killing. The Devils' power play has been bad, 13.3% power play. That's expected. Butcher didn't become the quarterback at the power play that I expected him to. And penalty killing, 71.3%. And, Subban's just nowhere to be found. He's not helpful on the ice anymore. Okay, let's talk about the Pens first. Their 6-game winning streak was snapped in a 2-1 loss on Tuesday against the Bruins. In their 4-1 win the night before, they pretty much dominated. It's as good as I've seen them look. Geno Malkin was the game's first star, goal and an assist. It was his 8th straight game with points. Over that span, he has 4 goals, 8 assists, and he's a +6. In the 2-1 loss, what was the major difference? Well, he logged just 3 minutes and 43 seconds of ice time before he left with a lower body injury. Their power play went 0 for 4 without him. And I am making this bet expecting him not to be in the lineup. And that's something I do. Part of my capping is expectations, and I'm attacking a line, expecting a player will not be in the lineup, and sometimes that blows up in my face. But more often than not, I get rewarded. Before the game, they announced third line center Teddy Bluger out for extended period with upper body injury. They're also missing winger Jared McCann. And Jared McCann is a depth piece, but Bluger and Malkin means they're out their second and third line centermen. That's huge. This team already lacks depth. Now, we've seen this story before with the Penguins. What happens is Sidney Crosby puts a team on their back. A final score here of 2-1, 3-1, I hope not, for the Pens, wouldn't be surprising. What happens is Crosby plays spectacular. He logs 25, 26 minutes of ice time, but he gets accountability from everybody else on the ice. So they play a clean, conservative game, try to take advantage of their odd man rushes and their opportunities. So that's what I'm betting here. And this Pens team, we've seen them when they deal with injuries. They're more often than not more than the sum of their parts. And I could understand. I don't think anyone should take the Penguins at this price. I think they're too big of favorites without two of their top three centermen. But it wouldn't shock me if somebody did, and I don't want the Devils, especially without Nico Hischier, and we'll get there in a second. So I'm moving on the full game under 5.5 plus 100. Moving on the Pens team total under 2.5 at plus 128, and I absolutely love that bet. That's my favorite bet in this game. I think the Penguins are going to have trouble scoring. Mackenzie Blackwood's playing very well, and I've got the push at 3. Penguins have to score 4 goals to hurt me, and the opportunity for them to score 1 or 2 goals, I think, is live. The Devils had lost 4 straight, 9-10, before squeaking out a win against the worst team in the NHL on Tuesday night, the Buffalo Sabres, 3-2. Nico Hischier underwent successful surgery to repair a frontal sinus fracture on Tuesday. He'll be out for at least 3 more weeks. And I think the number 1 overall pick in 2017 is going to be very good. Not this year, dealing with injuries. He's now the captain, dealing with pressure. But next year, I expect him to be a very good center. Without him in the lineup, this team is very little. 2019 first overall pick Jack Hughes just struggles offensively. 35 points in 87 career games. He's a minus 27. Now, he's been much better this year. 14 points in 26 games. I wouldn't say that's much better. But defensively, he's been much better and much more accountable and caring about the defensive end. He's just a -1 on a team that's awful. And he can be counted on now. And he's impressed me defensively. The players they have brought in from the KHL have been a bust. Igor Sharangovich, Nikita Gusev, they've been a bust. It's hurt them. First-line center and leading scorer Pavel Zacha suffered an undisclosed injury, and it's unclear if he'll play tonight. He didn't practice yesterday. Now, he may be in the lineup, but if he's not, I don't know how the Devils are going to score. And that puts that under 5.5 at plus 100, which is no vig. Gives us a great opportunity. And their goaltending's been very good of late. I'm hoping that will continue tonight. So 2 bets here, under 5.5 plus 100, team total under 3 at plus 128. I locked that in about 5 hours ago. I'm shooting this at 8:12 a.m. I locked that in about 3:30 a.m., maybe 4 a.m. Might have been closer to 4. We move on, 7 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Flyers at New York Islanders. Well, man, we know what happened last night. This total opened up at 5.5. And I have interest in this under. I think I have enough interest in this under to pull the trigger on it. It's the lone bet I haven't made, and I'll talk it out. And I expect to pull the trigger on this under. I am on the Flyers plus 120. Let's see what they opened at here. It was not available last night. This was a move I made about 25 minutes ago. And they're not even at plus 120 anymore. They're plus 115. Oh, wow. And they opened at plus 105. So actually, that's moving in the wrong direction. No, it's not. So I got a plus 120. If I wanted it now, it would be plus 115. That makes me feel good. I think that the under's got to be in play. It's just very hard to trust Carter Hart. But let's talk about Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. Carter Hart being awful. I expect him to be in that. Who else you can put in? Elliott, 7-6-3, 3.74 goals against average, .880 save percentage, 1 shutout. Semyon Varlamov, 3-5-3, 2.08 goals against average, 926 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Flyers, 20.2% power play, 74.1% penalty killing. Islanders, 20.5% power play, 80.8% penalty killing. The Flyers are coming off being absolutely embarrassed at MSG last night, 9-0 to the Rangers. Zibanejad, 6 points in 1 period. What happens now? They're at a crossroads. I think Alain Vigneault is a great coach, an experienced coach. And he's not someone who yells and throws shit around the dressing room and rants and raves. He expects the players to step up. So I expect there to be a players-only meeting. And I expect them to get their shit together. Because if they don't, they won't make the playoffs. Vigneault will get fired, and his team will be stripped down and sold for parts. They have a lot of veterans on this team. Who's going to step up? Is it Giroux? Is it Van Riemdijk? Is it Voracek? One of these veterans is going to step up. Or they clean house. That's what happens. Their goaltending has been absolutely atrocious. Carter Hart better step up tonight. This whole team needs to step up because the other teams in the NHL don't feel sorry for them, especially when you're playing a whole season in one division. These other teams want to put their foot on their throat and step down, and that's what I expect to happen here. This team has no injuries. They have no excuses. They have to look in the mirror and make some decisions. And I expect they're going to put out an enormous amount of effort. I'm on the Flyers money line, and I think I'm going to pull the trigger on the under 5.5. Let's talk about these Islanders. They've been playing good hockey. They're tied for first in the NHL with the Capitals, the Lightning, and the Panthers. They just had their 9-game winning streak snapped on Tuesday night in the 3-1 loss at Washington. Look, it's not easy to win 9 games in a row in the NHL. It's not easy. But it helps if 4 of them are against the Devils and 3 of them are against the Sabres. I can't legitimize that 9-game winning streak. Don't get me wrong. This is a good hockey team. Are they a great one? They certainly lost an important player. They lost first-line left winger Anders Lee. He tore his ACL. He's done for the year. 6th-round pick out of Notre Dame. He's earned everything that he's received. 12 goals, 7 assists, 19 points in 27 games. He's a +11. He's a big body, 6'3", 235 pounds. There's a reason why a guy as sharp as Lou Lamoriello would sign him to a 7-year, $49 million contract. Not a lot of 6th-round draft picks have $49 million 7-year contracts. So Brian Bellows' son, Kiefer, 2016 first-round draft pick, will get a shot at replacing Lee on the first line. It'll be fun to see if he can do it. This team has terrible Corsi ratings. Terrible. But they are more than the sum of their parts. Matthew Barzal will be on Team Canada next year, and that Beauvillier-Nelson-Bailey line is ranked poor in Corsi numbers. Sorry, it keeps auto-correcting my Corsi to cross. Ranked poor in Corsi numbers. The eye test says they're a good second line. Corsi numbers don't do that. The Corsi numbers destroy this defense. This Corsi numbers say the defense is terrible, but it's not terrible. And Lamoriello knows that, and Trotzy knows that, and they're old-fashioned guys. Varlamov has given them excellent goaltending. I'm just not sure how to handle them. Obviously not backing them much this year. Has cost me. I've left money on the table, and I'll be fading them here. I'm on the Flyers to step up. I'm expecting the Flyers to have their turning point in the season. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern. Nashville Predators 12-16-1, 5-9-1 on the road at Florida Panthers 19-5-4, 9-3-3 at home. We're at BB&T Center in Sunrise, Florida, and I'm on the Panthers on the puck line -1.5 at +120. And this isn't a bet on the Panthers, who are tied for first in the NHL, as much as it's a fade of the Nashville Predators. And I know I took it right in the drink hole on Monday, right in the bottom mouth when I backed the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Predators beat them 4-1. But I think that's an anomaly. I'm going to go right back to the well here. We have Florida opening up at -210. That's where they stand right now. This totals up to 6.5, and I don't think they get up there. No, I'm not going to bet it. I don't trust Bobrovsky, but I don't think the Predators are going to score much. Let's just take a quick look very, very quickly here. And this is something obviously I haven't bet yet. I'm looking at right now to see what the Predators team total is. Now, it's not going to be much because they're dogs. Yeah, it's stupid. Okay, under 2.5 minus 140. Come on. But if the under 2.5 is minus 140, then they're expecting Florida to score 5 goals in this game. That's a lot of goals. You get plus 195 for the over 4.5. You know, that's the idea that they're going to score 7 goals in this game is still I'm not going to move on it. Okay, Pecorine, 7-11-1, 3.09 goals against average, 8.99 save percentage, 1 shot. He's been playing better. Sergei Bobrovsky, 12-2-2. Don't let that win-loss record fool you. 2.95 goals against average, 905 save percentage. He's been average. He's been improving. He's been better of late. Preds power play, 20.2%. That's going to go down without Ellis and Yossi. Their penalty killing, 68%. Atrocious. Panthers power play, 27.1%. Their penalty killing, 79.8%. I'm going to bet against the Predators every night until their top 2 defensemen, Roman Yossi and Ryan Ellis, are back. They're also missing Mark Borowiecki, but it's Yossi and Ellis. It's a nice opportunity for them to showcase Mattias Ekholm, and they're going to trade Mattias Ekholm. But it does little else. They're just going to lose hockey games. Matt Duchene is out. I think he's happy. I think he likes being injured, and I think that they're better without him. I think right now as we speak, he's eating Kraft dinner with hot dogs, playing video games in his boxers. Brad Richardson, a competent fourth-line center, is hurt. Luke Kunin, a third-line winger, is hurt. And I like Philip Forsberg and Victor Arvidsson. I like them on the eye test. I think they're big, fast, skilled forwards, but their Corsi numbers aren't good. If you trust Corsi numbers, there are 80 wingers in the NHL better than Forsberg and Arvidsson. I'll fade them again here. The Panthers have won 4 straight. They're tied for first in the NHL. I'm not sold on them. Huberdeau and Barkov have been excellent. They're great hockey players. Hornqvist and Verhaeghe have been better than anyone could have possibly expected. Aaron Ekblad is having his best season in the NHL. You know, it's hard to believe that the 2014 first overall pick is 24. He's just 24, and I've been very hard on him. You know, will I be as hard on Rasmus Dahlin as I've been on Aaron Ekblad? I wonder, because I've been very hard on Aaron Ekblad, and he's having an excellent year, especially good of late. 4 goals, 5 assists in March, plus 4, only taking 1 minor penalty. That's in 8 games. That's impressive. Keith Yandel hasn't been a complete 5-on-5 liability. Bobrovsky's been better, but still an awful signing. I'm not betting on the Panthers here as much as I'm betting against the Predators. Let's move on. 9 p.m. Eastern. This is playoff type atmosphere here. Minnesota Wild, 18-8-1, 8-5-1 on the road at Colorado Avalanche, 17-8-2, 10-4-1. We're at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. This is going to be fun. This total opened up at 5.5 at minus 110. There's been a 5-cent move to the over. It says that it's come back. Let me just see if it's come back. I hope it's come back. That would make me feel a little better. And it has. So it's back to exactly where I got it. I took the under 5.5 at minus 110. I think this is a playoff type game. I think it's going to be low scoring. And I'm on the Wild plus 135. Let's see where that is right now and see exactly where that opened. Because I didn't get it on the opener. I don't believe. I was a little late on it. Wow. It opened up plus 115. So money came immediately in on the Avalanche. And look, that makes no sense to me. And I know they're getting Bowen Byram back. They're expected to get Bowen Byram back, and he'll help. But Wild power play, 8.1%. It's a problem. Their penalty killing, 86.2%. Spectacular. Avs power play, 23%. Not being as good as we expected, but McCarr's been out for the last while. Their penalty killing, incredible, 87.7%. If you want to bet unders, if you like betting unders, you want to have teams that have good penalty killing. Kaapo Kakkonen, 12-4-0, 2.05 goals against average, 927 save percentage, 2 shutouts, coming off a shutout. Talbot's been spectacular too. Before I was upset when Talbot would be announced when I had the Wild, but stepping up. Philip Grubauer, 16-7-0, 1.85 goals against average, 925 save percentage, 4 shutouts. And what he did coming in the second period of that game against the Ducks, and we'll get to it, was pretty spectacular. The Wild are playing excellent hockey. It feels like I say that every show here. Look, I'm in love with this hockey team. They've won 5 straight. They've outscored Vegas and Arizona 17-4 over that span with 3 shutouts. They're getting high-quality hockey up and down their lineup. They have size, skill, veteran leadership. Kirill Kaprizov is going to win Rookie of the Year if he continues at this pace. I love him. He didn't start exploding until Matt Zuccarello got on his line. I said that was going to happen. I mean, it's easy. It's nothing, no pat on the back there. I mean, it's a pretty easy statement. Zuccarello had been battling injuries his entire time with Minnesota, and now he gets this sniper to play with. Victor Rask seems like a nice centerman for them. They were the second line. They're clearly the first line now, and I like that second line. I like Eriksson Ek, and I'm surprised Eriksson Ek can't be on that first power play unit. They use Bjugstad on the first power play unit. The power play isn't working, and it should be with Dumba back at the point and Kaprizov and Zuccarello. It should be a good power play, and I expect it to improve and improve. Look, I love this team. No one's going to want to play them in the playoffs. They did lose Marcus Foligno to injury. That's a problem. They're very deep, but 6'3", 225-pound, rugged winger, being excellent. 16 points, plus 13. He'll be out a month. This is going to be a very intense hockey game. The Avalanche have won 4 straight without 2 of their top 4 defensemen and 3 of their top 6, and Cale Makar, Bowen Byram, and Erik Johnson. Not only that, but they lost Connor Timmins, who came in to replace Erik Johnson. And Connor Timmins is hurt. JT Compher also out of the lineup. I have them to win the Stanley Cup. Now, I didn't get a good line. Let's just see what it is right now. I'm sure it's better now. It's a little better. I got on plus 650. It's plus 750. I think they're going to win the Cup if Makar is healthy and they're good to go come playoff time, especially with the way Grubauer is playing. Their forward group is so deep. They have so much skill. Rantanen, McKinnon, Landeskog haven't even got going yet. When they do, look out. And yes, I'm fading them here, and that's because of Cale Makar not being in the lineup. They're coming off putting up 8 goals against the extremely weak Ducks. It was so impressive the way they did it. They had, what's his name? Hiska. Hiska was in net. What is his name? I have it right here. Hunter Miska was in goal, and he's an undrafted 25-year-old journeyman. Not very good numbers in the AHL. Not bad, but he comes in. I took the Ducks first period. It's probably my favorite bet of the year, only because the first period cashed comfortably and the full game didn't, and that's one of those bets that make you feel so good. But the Ducks score 4 goals on 7 shots on Hunter Miska, and they're up 4-2 after the first period. Grubauer comes in. Avalanche scores 6 unanswered goals, win 8-4. I mean, it's a sign of a very good hockey team to be able to do things like that. And I am fading them here. So I just think not having the spectacular Cale Makar and then having Byron coming back from injury, and if he's back, and Girard has to log such heavy minutes that he won't pinch and risk, I think the under's a great spot here. It's a great hockey team that I'm happy to fade in this situation. Final game on the card, 10 p.m. Eastern, Arizona Coyotes at Anaheim Ducks. I'm on the Coyotes -1. I got plus 119. It's a money line -135, a puck line -1.5, a plus 180. Now, Sports Interaction, some of these books give out the -1 lines, and Sports Interaction, and I did a show sponsored by them. They give it out in their legal license book in Jersey and Canada. They gave the -1 at plus 151. I got plus 119 on the -135 and plus 180. So it was extremely irritating to see what a gorgeous line Sports Interaction was giving. -135 for Arizona. They're now -130, so a 5-cent move towards them. Makes sense to me. I'm also on the over 5.5 at plus 105. I really like this play. I think it's a nice one. You're getting a plus line, and it's still at plus 105 right now. And it looks like we'll have backups in there. I really like that play. Antti Ranta is dealing with another lower body injury. 4-3-2, 3.35 goals against average, 9-12 save percentage. He has been much better of late, but it looks like he won't be in net. So Aiden Hill will likely be in goal because Darcy Kemper's hurt. Aiden Hill, 1-3-0, 2.73 goals against average, 9-10 save percentage. The 6'6", third-round pick from, I believe, 2016. It's just a tough spot to crack with Ranta and Kemper playing ahead of him. John Gibson has been awful of late. Now he's got a lower body injury. 6-12-5, 3.11 goals against average, 8.94 save percentage, 3 shutouts. So I expect Ryan Miller to be in goal. He's bad. They have Anthony Stolarz, who's awful too. And in fact, after Ryan Miller's last performance, allowing 8 goals against the Avs, I'd bring in Stolarz. Ryan Miller, 2-4-1, 3.66 goals against average, 8.78 save percentage, 0 shutouts. He's bad. Coyotes power play 18.4%. It's actually going down. Their penalty killing good at 84%. Ducks power play 11.4%. Their penalty killing weak 75.6%. The Coyotes have lost 4 straight and have been outscored 13-2 over those 4 games. They were against the elite in the division in Avalanche and Wild. They're going to find this much smoother sailing against this weak-ass Ducks team. When the going gets tough, the Coyotes plan tomorrow's picnic. Their forwards don't go in the dirty areas. When teams and really good teams clog the neutral zone and force the Coyotes to get it deep and cycle, the Coyotes just can't do it. Guys like Clayton Keller, who have so much skill and are so talented offensively, just don't seem to get the job done when the going gets tough. Their top 6 forwards are weak. They're offensively skilled, but they're not strong, and they're not hard to play against. And come playoff time, when you play the team every second night, they're going to instill no fear in the opposition. And what more do I have to say about Phil Kessel? Punky Brewster needs a breast reduction. He's terrible out there. Their defense is good, mobile, can send outlet passes. And look, I'm shitting all over the Coyotes. I'm betting them here. This is going to be a much easier task. I like when a team plays the best team in the division. It gets beaten up for a bit and then goes plays the worst team in the division. Ducks have lost 4 straight. I talked about how interesting that game was. It was so interesting. Up 4-2, we catch our first period. Hunter Miska, the Avalanche backup, because of injuries. They don't want he's a third stringer. He plays in the minors. He gets torched, 4 goals on 7 shots, and then Grubauer comes in for the second, third periods, and the Avalanche score 6 unanswered goals. I mean, it's great. It's just fun. The Ducks are terrible from top to bottom, man. They don't have one area of the game they're good in. Not enough skill or size at forward. A weak defense made even weaker by the Hampus Lindholm wrist injury. Atrocious goaltending from Gibson or Miller. This team is fade. But they can score some goals. They can't score. They have some offense. I'd love to see who gets Getzlaf at the trade deadline. I hope somebody does. I'd like to see him play an important spot one more time in his career before he rides off into the sunset. I'm the Coyotes -1 at +119 and the over 5.5 at +105. All right, let's review action for NHL. Penguins under 5.5 at +100. Penguins team total under 3 at +128. I'm on the Flyers money line at +120. And I'm going to move on the under 5.5. I'm going to have to bet that. I see this as a team that's going to have to be extremely accountable out there for each other, for their coach. Then I'm on the Panthers -1.5 at +120. I'm on the Wild money line +135, the under 5.5 -110. The Coyotes -1 at +119, and the over 5.5 at +105. Nice to be back with you guys. I love talking hockey. And I can only do it because you guys are supporting the show. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that. The more support, the more likes and all that, the more subscriptions, and the more time I can allot to NHL, which makes me very, very happy. Let's go. Let's have a giant Thursday. I got a ton of action. My palms are leaking. And I'm really excited. On behalf of everybody here at Odds, thank you for your support. Let's get paid in full. Let's get that cash and have a giant